Welcome to the C-Suite Mentor, the place where you will learn the tools, strategies, and mindset to scale your business sustainably and build a lasting legacy. I'm your host, Theresa Cantley. As a fellow CEO, I understand what it takes to scale a business to 7 and multiple 8 figures. It's not necessarily what you might think. It requires a complete shift in how you think, strategize, and execute key actions in your business. My mission is to help CEOs step back into the driver's seat of their business by optimizing their operations, empowering their team, and staying in total alignment with their big vision. So, are you ready to exchange everything that hasn't worked for strategies that will? You're in the right place, so let's go. Hey there, and welcome back. That was quite a hey there, huh? A little bit of a sore throat today, but that's okay because I am still here with you. And I wanted to talk about, because it is the day after the election. And I know it was a surprise for many as far as Donald Trump winning. And this election season has just been just crazy. And it started so early. I mean, between the calls that you get, the text messages that you were getting, and just kind of the debates that were going on and the friction and just everything that surrounded this election just made it really intense. And quite frankly, I just could not wait for it to be over because ultimately, the ultimate end of it, we have no control over what the outcome's going to be. No matter what happens, and I talk about this a lot with business, we don't have control over the outcome. We have control over the effort that we put into it. And the effort that we put into this is looking at what each candidate stood for, what they're getting clarity on what their policy beliefs were and what they were going to do or what they said they were going to do, and just getting out there and voting, really just getting out there and voting. And yesterday, my husband and I did mail-in ballots because my husband actually had surgery yesterday. And I watched a lot of stuff that was on the news about what was happening. And I mean, I was in the city of Philadelphia, and I know Pennsylvania was one of those states that everybody was watching very fiendishly to see what would happen and, which way the election would go based on how Pennsylvanians voted. And like I said, it was a surprise for many. And I'm watching the news this morning and seeing, they were going through the demographics of the different states and the different areas and how people voted. And the truth is that at the end of the day, we are all Americans. No matter what the color of your skin is, no matter where you come from, we are all Americans. Your background, and I think that's the piece at which I want to talk about today is we forget that, is that we're all humans. And if you are an entrepreneur, you are out there doing the work to make a difference in this world, to make a difference for all Americans. At least I hope you are. And if you're not, well, that's a different story. But as I said, there has just been so much, and I've seen it in neighborhoods where people, if you're voting for one or the other, just the divide that has happened. And the truth is that really we can have differing opinions, but we can all still come together at the end of the day. And I did a post the other day where I talked about in your business, everybody should, you want to build a culture where everyone's voice matters, everyone's opinion matters. And no one should be shunned or shut down or whatever for having an opinion, as long as at the end of the day, the collective comes together and can celebrate the difference of opinions. And I think for a long time, and I think that's the key, is that we can have different opinions, and that friction can be positive in that it can challenge each side to come up with new ideas or new solutions to things to ease that friction. And I think when it comes to politics in this country, especially in recent years, those difference of opinions and those the different sides has just created a divide in the country. And that division actually creates more problems, and it creates more negativity, and it creates more negative outcomes. And again, I just want to put a caveat on this also. I am not, number one, I'm not going to talk about my political views at all. I'm not a super political person. I don't really talk about politics with people. I understand it. I understand the principles. I understand policies behind. I understood policies behind both candidates. But I think for me, the thing that I believe in the most is, really, again, we can celebrate different cultures. We can celebrate different beliefs. And at the end of the day, we need to come together, not be divided apart by them. One of my clients for the businesses that I run besides my own business, he has a belief and he started his business to bring cultures together, not divide them. And I think it holds true with our beliefs in this country that we can have different beliefs. And I think for me this comes from growing up being different, being very creative and very artistic and being shunned for that or being made fun of for that. That now I am very much all about, we need to celebrate what makes us different, and again, respect that each person has different beliefs, and be able to, instead of creating a divide, have that bring us together. And I'm just going on a little bit of a tangent here, but I'm going to come back to this. Again, people were really felt very strongly one way or another between the two candidates. And the truth of the matter is, and I heard this the other day, and I believe this as well, is that presidents come and go, but entrepreneurs will continue to build the world. Politics don't build the world. Yes, politics make policy and they put certain things in place, but at the end of the day, entrepreneurs, with our ability to create new ideas and our ability to innovate and our ability to build and our ability to really make a difference in communities, that is ultimately what's going to build the world. No matter what president we've had over the past however long, yes, certain things have been put into place, but it did not stop entrepreneurs. If we look at that, it did not stop entrepreneurs building this country. It did not stop entrepreneurs from launching new ideas and launching new businesses. You think Elon Musk would have let a president tell him he couldn't launch his idea, or Bill Gates or Richard Branson, or I mean, really anybody? Like, do you think that they would have, a president, whoever was in office, would have stopped them from building their dream? No, right? So again, presidents will come and go. Everybody will have their different political opinions. But at the end of the day, it's entrepreneurs that will continue to build this world, that will continue to build businesses that educate, that change things in society, that build infrastructure, that create jobs for people. That's what entrepreneurs do. And I think no matter who you voted for, I think we need to get back to that. And just looking at the election itself, and just again, I'm not a political person, but I think that what really had people vote for one person over the other came down to a lot of clarity on policy. What was urgent to people, the majority of the people right now. And a lot of that had to do with improving the economy, lowering interest rates, really lowering costs to produce product, getting product in, not having so many disruptions in supply chains, and I mean, lowering the cost of food. I run a restaurant, and I can tell you that food costs have just been out of control. Utility costs have been out of control. So I think that the matters that were important and urgent to people want a healthy economy. There has been a ton of layoffs. And like I said, people to feed their families and keep their households going. I mean, it's been challenging. It's been super challenging. And I think one of the big things is just that clarity on policy and how that what the candidate stood for and what they were talking about and how they were going to address things, I think was important to people, super important to people. And I saw something. I just saw something before I hit the record button where someone was talking about that um, people were looking at that policy and people weren't looking at it as far as the opponent who was going to make things better for people. But they were just looking at it from the standpoint of who was going to, from money, that they voted green. And I look at that and I'm just like, I don't know, like I just get blown away at comments like that because, again, people have had a lot of challenges and the economy, the way that it's been, has just created a lot of hardships in for people. And again, I mean, going through, I know people who have gone through rounds and rounds and rounds of layoffs and then trying to find a job. And it's just, and again, gas is up and utilities up and food costs when you go to the grocery store are up. And it's just been a challenge, which again has created inflation, has created, I mean, we have this up and down and up and down, and it's just crazy. So here's the thing that I want to say is ultimately we decide as entrepreneurs, as business owners, as CEOs, as people, we decide what actions we're going to take next. I have like notes down here to make sure that I stick to what I want to talk about. Because, at the end of the day, we're people talking here. We're having a cup of coffee. If you're watching a video, I have my coffee here. Ultimately, we decide what actions we're going to take next because, again, we have no control over the outcome of the election. All we had control over is educating ourselves and then voting for what we believe in. And when we focus on those next actions that we need to take, that's how we can really focus on the difference that we ultimately want to make with our business and just as people. Because even if you're not a business owner and you're listening to this podcast, as a person, as a human being, you have the ability to create change just simply by how you show up, making sure that that you embrace diversity, that you embrace change, that you embrace what makes us all different is what makes us uniquely different, was what makes us uniquely beautiful. So even if you don't own a business, simply showing up as someone who, again, who just embraces the difference, the difference that makes us all individuals. But if you're a business owner, the truth is that, again, we need to focus on that difference that we want to make in our business and the wrongs that we want to right. So there's been a lot of stuff that's happened, and President Trump going into office, he's got a lot of problems that he has to fix. A lot of problems. And I mean, it's great. He was president before. He knows the White House. He knows how things work. It's fabulous. And which is going to make him what he needs to do. There's not a learning curve or whatever there. But at the end of the day, he still has a lot of problems to fix. But as entrepreneurs, as business owners, like I said, we are the ones that continue to build. No matter what happens, we continue to build. So we have to decide what we want to do next. Do we want to stay and ruminate in negativity and disgust as far as like some of the stuff? I can't even open my Instagram app because some of the things that I'm reading, it's okay, are we just going to stay in this negative space? Because honestly, cutting people down, cutting down the decision that was made by Americans, putting like just having rage, and I mean rage behind the outcome, it doesn't benefit anyone. It actually tears us apart. And whether or not you agree with who was elected, you have the ability to show up differently, okay? And look at it and say, okay, it is what it is. Let's move forward. And the thing that I want you to really focus on is vision. So no matter, again, we don't have control over the outcome of what happened, but we do have control over our next steps. So the next step is going back to and focusing on your vision. Because at the end of the day, leaders who have a strong vision help people who have dreams. So you might be saying, okay, well, how? Well, first of all, if you're building a business, we want to build, you have a vision that's big enough that the people that work for you, their vision, their dreams fit into that bigger vision. Because when you care about people and you're in the business of people, no matter what kind of business you have, you're in the business of human connection and people. Guess what? You want to make sure, or you want to be a part of helping those people, the people that work with you, helping people in your community be able to achieve their dreams. How? Offering jobs, creating innovation, building a business that educates and supports the community, building programs that can teach young people or older people or people in between to dream and to innovate. Having innovation be part of your strategic plan, part of your vision, is going to set you apart from the people who succeed and the people who don't, the businesses who thrive and the businesses who fall back, especially right now, using technology to create that deeper human connection, that deeper human experience within your business and outside of your business. As you've heard me talk, if we improve what's going on inside of our business, we can improve what's happening outside of our business. And that's what this country needs. Take all the politics away, take all the opinions away, because everybody's got opinions. You know what that means. So, what we need to do is look at it and say, I have a vision. I want to innovate. I want to embrace the people. I want to embrace diversity in my business because that diversity and innovation work together. And that's what's going to move the business forward. That's going to move what's going to move the world forward, what's going to move our communities forward and keep them healthy. So building programs that teach people how to dream big, how to innovate, how to how to create things that a community needs, that a country needs. I mean, really, deciding that building a business on purpose, building a business that is fueled on purpose and not solely about making money, that's what you want to do. And that's what's important. And the truth is that our country and our communities won't grow and flourish if all we do is fight and insert more anger into what's happening. And again, you can agree or you can agree with who got elected or you can disagree with who got elected. But at the end of the day, really what's important is what you do next with it. Are you going to keep your mindset in a negative? Are you going to keep your mindset about what happened and your beliefs about what happened negative and focusing on the negative and focusing on the wrong or focusing on the dark? Or are you going to bring light into this? Are you going to focus on, okay, you know what? What can we do next to improve our business? What can we do next? Whatever positive comes out of this and looking for what's optimistic about it, getting small businesses the help that they need by lowering interest rates, by getting them more access to funding, and making sure that people of color, making sure that people who have been oppressed and haven't been able to get the funding that they need or to get the investors that they need, that now they have a chance to get them. That's what we have to focus on. That's what we have to focus on changing. And whatever the politics are, whatever, because honestly, like presidents have screwed stuff up in the past and it's going to continue. It will happen in the future. It's inevitable, right? But at the end of the day, we as entrepreneurs and CEOs and business owners, we have the chance and the ability to right those wrongs. We have the chance and the abilities to truly make a difference and continue to that build people's dreams, to build our own dream and build other people's dreams. And if we rise up and put in the work that really needs to happen, we can see so many positive changes. And some people might listen to this and think I'm absolutely kookadoo, but some people might be listening to this and saying, you know what, you're right. And let me tell you, I've heard so much negativity and I've been around so much negativity for the past several years. Um, you know, I've had people cut me down. I've had people criticize what I'm doing. And you know what? At the end of the day, I have a big vision. I have a big goal. I have a big dream of making sure that mainstream businesses survive and that small businesses survive because that's what is ultimately going to repair the economy. That's what's going to keep the economy going. And I also believe that if we humanize our business and we deepen the human connection inside of our business, that's how we can deepen the human connection outside of our business. And you know what? Whoever's president, they're not going to stop that dream. They're not going to stop that belief and they're not going to stop that vision. Then they're not going to stop me from building businesses and they're not going to stop me from being an entrepreneur. So I think that's what we need to focus on right now is we need to rise up and do the work that matters, the real work, and continuing to go into that negative space and that negative talk and that, yes, we can all have our opinions and we can all grieve and be upset, but don't stay there. Don't stay there because when we stay there, everything else gets pulled down with it. When we are and I believe in being a voice for people who can't be a voice, and I believe in being a voice for what matters. But I'm going to use my voice to move things forward in a positive way, not by tearing other people down, not by tearing apart things, not by being vocally negative. I'm going to use my voice, what's left of it right now, but I'm going to use my voice and the beliefs that I have in building a better world, better than I found it. I'm going to use that for good. So I encourage you to do the same. Again, this was a surprise and we all can have differing opinions. We all can have differing opinions about things. We can have different beliefs about things. But as long as we recognize that and we see that we're all individuals and we can all come together then, not be separated apart. That's how we can create real change in this world. And ultimately, that's how we can create the peace and the prosperity and the abundance that this country needs, that communities need, and that really ultimately the world needs. Because if we start within our business, hopefully that will push outside of our business and create that real and lasting change. So anyway, I hope you have a great rest of your week. And yeah, just keep making a difference. Keep focusing on building on purpose, not building solely based on money. And just remember, if you have a big vision, you can help people to achieve their dreams, to build their dreams, and also build your own dream. Because, as I said, presidents come and go, but entrepreneurs, true entrepreneurs, those are the ones that continue to create change. Okay, have a good one. Hey there. Thank you so much for listening. If you found value on this show, please follow the podcast so you never, ever miss an episode. And I would love, love, love if you would leave a review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify for me. Even better, share the show with a fellow business owner ready to step fully into their CEO leadership role. Because right now, more than ever, the world really needs next level leaders. And by the way, did you know you can text me all your questions and get real-time feedback? You absolutely can. Just text the word CEO to me at 610-215-2838 to get connected. One last goodie for you before I go. If you're ready to scale your business and have a co-creator working right by your side, my C-Suite Mentor Program may be perfect for you and your possible new second in command. Just visit thecsuitementor.com to get started.